Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the Into the Weekend with BetDSI show, the show we do every week with Brent, the headlines manager at DSI Sportsbook. Right now we're looking ahead to NFL Week 16 and the start of the bowl season in college football. Brent, thanks so much once again.
Pleasure to be with you, Peter.
Okay, let's get right into it. First, we'll start with the NFL. Maybe the biggest game of the week is New Orleans at Carolina, right? Now, I'm guessing, first of all, this game has huge volume. And second of all, I'm guessing the public's probably pounding Carolina pretty significantly just because, they like to bet against New Orleans when they're, on the road, and they especially coming off a loss last week. So I'm assuming that the public's pounding Carolina, and it's a big high-volume game.
Yeah, you're right on both counts, Peter. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't been able to attract much or any New Orleans money at all so far. The only New Orleans money I could say I have is when you get the teasers involved. So, you take a 7-point teaser, you get them a plus 10 or whatever. But even on the teasers, it's probably about 2-1 in favor of Carolina. And, it is big volume, which is, you would expect from this game. A lot of over money, which you expect from a game like this, but none of it really sharp. Mostly just public money driving Carolina right now.
Okay, well, let's move on to, the big public sides this week, because last week we discussed, them. You had a bunch of huge public sides, right? KC and Seattle, overwhelming public action, and both of those sides covered very easily. So let me just first ask you, last week, was that disastrous that both KC and Seattle covered?
Yeah, no, it wasn't disastrous for us at all, Peter. Again, we talk about the NFL. If we're gonna get beat bad on a couple of games. Obviously St. Louis beating New Orleans was very good for us. The fact that the Giants, even with teaser money, they were getting 9 points. You tease them up to 15, 16, stuff like that. That didn't help anyone on that side of stuff. So, so when teams blow another team out like that, like they did, it kind of helped us out a bit. Indianapolis, same thing. I mean, they just crushed Houston, by like 20, whatever it was. Buffalo, same thing. So, yeah, 2 games alone won't do it for us in a week.
All right. Well, this week I've identified 3 games that I'm guessing are going to have, again, overwhelming public action. 2 of them are, again, KC and Seattle. Seattle is at home, double-digit favorite against Arizona. KC at home, minus 6.5 against Indianapolis. So I'm assuming both of those, again, are going to be big public sides, especially after the public won with them last week. And then Denver off a loss, off a Thursday game, going into Houston as a double-digit road favorite. I'm assuming that's a third side that's going to be get big public action this week.
Yeah, San Fran, you can add to that one, too. That's okay. The Monday night game. They're at home to Atlanta, and it's just a ton of money on San Fran. I've actually got sharp money involved here on San Fran as well, which is not good for us. San Fran minus 12 was a sharp play, but that counts just crazy one side in terms of San Fran. You touched on all those sides are big public sides. Kansas City on the straights and stuff like that isn't too bad in terms of Kansas City money coming at 6.5. I did get some decent bets on Indianapolis plus 7 now. Those weren't particularly sharp bets, but they're kind of higher dollar volume bets, so that kind of helps us out there. Same thing with the Denver and Houston game at plus 10.5. I did get some bigger bets on Houston. We're down to 10 right now. I know some places are 9.5 on Denver. We're sitting at 10, and we're doing all right in terms of being balanced just on the straights. These games that are big public sides, like you talk about Seattle as well. Big public sides like this, usually it's the teasers that really get impacted. So if they all win outright and cover the teaser numbers, then yeah, we're talking about having a bad weekend.
All right, and has there, for any of the 3 games that we just discussed, you said that you got some sharp action on San Francisco. Have the sharps come in on either side of Indy, KC, Arizona, Seattle, or Denver, Houston?
No, Indy KC seems to be all about the number. At 6.5, they're betting Kansas City. At 7, they're taking the plus with the Colts there. Houston plus 10.5. We did get a little bit of action, but again, it's the Denver money's kind of outweighed that, and the bets plus 10.5 on Houston were, like I said, bigger dollar volume bets, but not of the guys who I would say, yeah, these are definitely the sharp ones. And unfortunately, we did take some, a bigger bets and respectable money on Seattle when it was 9.5. So, on the straights alone, we're not too bad. The teasers are where it's really going to come down to with these 4 games.
All right. And then what can you tell us about notable action from the rest of the Week 16 NFL card?
Yeah, other than the San Fran, that's really the only side where I've got definitive sharp money involved. Talking about totals, though, I do have the Dallas Washington game under 53.5 as sharp. Now, I'm sitting at 53.5 still right now just because there's such overwhelming money on the over, which people tend to do with these 2 teams involved. So, but that's strictly public money on the over. Sharp money's on the under 53.5. This is one of those cases where we talk about where, the sharps were under 53.5. People might say, well, why are you still 53.5? It's just the public just keeps on betting the over. So right. I'm going to let them bet the over because they're going to lay 53.5. Why let them bet over 53? The game lands, and then, there's your number. Chicago, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is another one with the under. They played the under 56 there. We're at 55.5 right now. Sharps even came in on the first half under as well. They were playing the under 28.5 there. Minnesota and Cincinnati, that's another underplay, under 48. We're at 47.5 right now. And again, we still got more public money going over. As as is always the case at the Chicago game as well. Public is on the over, Sharps are on the under. This Minnesota game where we've only moved a half a point. Why? Because the public's still betting the over. And you can say the same about the only different one though is the Oakland and San Diego game. I've got actually sharp money on the over there. They bet the over 48, and the public's kind of tailed them going up to 50.5 where we are right now. So we're gonna need the under there in the Oakland-San Diego game.
Okay, and then, bowl season is starting, gets underway this Saturday in college football, so I figure we'll take it segment by segment. What can you tell us about, notable action that you've seen on the 12 college bowls between now and Friday, December 27th?
Actually, the later ones, like the 27th, the 26th, not a whole lot yet, but these games that are coming up on Saturday, I do have a couple things for you. The Colorado State-Washington State game, that's a sharp over. Now the Sharps went over 65 there. We're sitting at 66 right now, and probably about 5-1 on the over right now in terms of the count on money, so we're really going to need the under there, but bucking the Sharps is not a good spot to be, so I wouldn't be surprised if that line goes even higher. USC Fresno State, again, over money there, over 62 was sharp. We're at 63 right now. The spread is USC -6. Sharps were all over Fresno State +7. That was really big. I had a couple of guys all over Fresno State there. Our count slightly favors USC still, which is kind of like a public side, but our money slightly favors Fresno State. So, the public's going to back USC, and so I think we're going to be in a position where if the Sharps win, we're going to do okay as well. And Buffalo and San Diego State is another one where the count is close. Money favors San Diego State, and that was sharp money at a pick. Now, San Diego State minus pick, they're up to 2 right now. Not that, 2 is really a key number, but getting past the pick is. So San Diego State at a pick, Fresno State +7, USC over 62, and the Colorado State-Washington State game going over 65. We're all sharp plays, Peter.
Awesome info, as always, Brent. Thanks so much, and we will talk to you again next week.